So luckily he's moving that Sherman, but he's really doing it the wrong way. Just driving around out in the open, not a care in the world, and boom! One shell from a 17-pounder, and right there he's out like 30, 40 points. The M4A2 is an expensive Sherman even. The way to reposition your tanks is always, like I said, but also you have to be careful. See, I'm even repositioning my mortar a little bit. You always reposition your tanks, but be careful about it. Don't expose your side. That was an M19, so that was a light vehicle, but you don't have to worry about that. My Allies Crusader just blew the crap out of it. Don't be so aggressive also. He just drove in with no infantry support right in the middle of our lines. Like, what did he think was going to happen? He was going to happen upon like a stream full of gumdrops and chocolate, and it would be happy days, and there would be unicorns prancing around and licking the soles of his feet? No! You get shot, man, if you drive in and don't know what the fuck is going on. So, that didn't work for him. They're just losing way too many tanks. This Chaffee's driving up. But maybe the Lee will shoot it, maybe a 17-pounder shoot it. I'm repositioning my 17-pounder, and the Lee owns it anyways. The way to reposition your tanks is to keep the front pointed towards the enemy. This Sherman you can sort of see the corpse of on the beach. He's just driving along, vroom vroom vroom, left-hand armor showing to me. That's easy armor to penetrate. The rear armor is incredibly easy to penetrate, but the side armor, especially of a Sherman or some other tank like that, is also easy to penetrate because it's flat. Soon we'll talk about the Lee. But flat armor is easy to penetrate because it does not deflect the shells. If you hit at like a 90-degree angle, the shell's just going to punch right through, whereas if it's sloping, the shell's sort of going to deflect. And the Sherman has very good sloping front armor. Like, look at that. Maybe you can't tell, but it's got very nice sloping armor in the front. But on the sides, in the back, it's just flat, straight up, and it's not very thick either. So Sherman's just going to die if you're driving around showing your sides. So repositioning carefully or reposition far behind your lines. Don't just drive around like a monkey. Certainly drive around like a monkey, but do it like a careful monkey, one of those conscientious monkeys. Maybe one of the monkeys in a scientific study where they've taught it to be awesome. So here's the Lee. I told you we talked about the Lee. The Lee is an abomination. They just grafted a lot of turrets. An abomination. That's what I said in the game. God kills a kitten when you use it. Yeah, I mean, look at it. What a butt-ugly tank. Like, what is wrong with that tank? Like, it is just a bizarre tank. I stole these sandbags, by the way, from his dead rifleman. The guy who designed it heard you like tanks. Yeah, he heard you like tanks, so he put a tank on your tank. So you could use tanks while you use tanks. And now the Lee is dead, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, look at that. Come on. It's got like a side turret, and then a top turret, and then a little tiny top turret on top of the turret. Then, like, I don't know, man. Robert E. Lee is probably not happy that they named a tank after him that looks like a ridiculous elephant man of a tank. But we're not judging things on their looks, are we? So there's an M36 Slugger, basically the most giant tank destroyer in the world. Armor's not horrific, but it's actually pretty bad. So, because, you know, it's a tank destroyer, what do you expect? It's got a fantastic gun, but the fantastic gun not going to do much when, one, there's not a lot of tanks to shoot at. We don't have any heavy tanks. We have some light tanks, but nothing heavy. And two, there's like 4 of us, so he got screwed. And he wasn't repositioning. He was just driving back and forth very slightly, like rocking back and forth, trying to lull himself to sleep. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. You see me moving my AT gun right now. Totally gonna happen. I'm repositioning. They're not repositioning. Repositioning is the #1 way to one-up your opponent. Killing his units is the #2 way. So I buy an officer just because I feel like, you know, I can make this defense really, really easy if I know what's coming. I have a mortar and I have an AT gun with very long range, and I have open sight lines on the left. Officer's gonna make it incredibly easy to just kill whoever I want. And my Stuart is finally done repairing, so everybody into the Stuart. Alright, this is going to be awesome. I even buy some tank crewmen, because the Stuart is a 4-man tank. You just hover over, or look in the bottom left, the number right above its speed, the thing that says 4, parentheses 6, although now I don't have the Stuart selected, but you can always tell how many people crew a tank just by hovering over it and looking at the tooltip. The number in parentheses is how many it can conceivably hold. The number before the parentheses is, I don't know, the ideal number of crew or something. Usually that's right. Sometimes it's off by 1 because you can put 1 more guy in and he can man the turret on top. And look, the Sherman doesn't move after firing twice at me, so he's just asking for it, gets nailed. Because he was just sitting there. Like, he knows I have a 17-pounder, what's he doing? So he just paid for, like, he just killed 3 submachine gun infantry, and he paid for it with a Sherman M4A2 that's like 40, 30, 50 points. I lost like 3 points, and now I'm killing a bunch of people with my mortar because he has no place to take cover. He's in trouble, but now he does have a place to take cover. There's a couple craters. I'm not quite sure what caused it. Maybe that was the Sherman firing effect, but that's gonna give him much better protection. Basically, a mortar shell has to land in there for anything to happen. Although a 17-pounder managed to shoot down into that crater. I had the height advantage there. So craters aren't the be-all, end-all of cover. If you can get a height advantage of the crater, wow, 17-pounder picked the other guy out. I didn't realize that happened while I was playing. But yeah, if you can get like any sort of field gun above a crater and fire down into it, or even an infantry unit if they have a sufficiently long-range gun like a rifle or a sniper, if you can fire down into a crater, you can do some good damage. You have to find a hill, of course, but that's why you need a lucky hit with artillery. Like a lucky hit with artillery is also firing down into the crater. So just find a way to access the crater. And we have 1,138 points, and they have like 133, so we're gonna win the game. So the lesson of this game: always keep your units moving. And I buy a land mattress because it's a giant artillery, and I want to go out with a bang. I can't find an enemy to shoot. Then I see an enemy tank, but it's too far. So I figure I'll go out with a bang and kill my own men. Exciting! B Team Army wins. Hooray, B Team. B for British.